The first thing the man did after being reborn was to take the divorce papers and find his wife's true love, calmly telling him he wanted a divorce. His wife and 2 kids would all stay with her. He wanted nothing. David stared at the man in shock, unable to believe he would give up so suddenly. But the man explained, as long as David could get his wife to sign, he would leave right after the divorce cooling period ended. Hearing that, David finally believed the man wasn't lying. He stared at the papers for a long time, then chose to put them away, and stood up walking to the window, gracefully picking up his phone.
林少，我在揽胜咖啡厅，外边下大雨了，你能来接我吗？
The man sat aside with a faint bitter smile. Everyone said he was lucky for marrying the richest woman in town, but no one knew she never loved him. In this new life he refused to repeat the same mistake. He would no longer be the ignored husband of a tycoon. Just as he was about to leave, he saw his wife walk into the cafe with their kids. They met head-on, yet no one noticed the man nearby, because all their eyes were on David. The son and daughter ran to David the moment they saw him, hugging and kissing him, calling him Uncle David. The woman even brought his favorite cake. David grinned widely and lied that he had his eye on a villa, but was short on money, asking if she could lend him some. Before he could finish, she quickly said no problem. David instantly pulled out the divorce papers from behind and turned to the signature page. The woman took the pen and signed her name without even looking.
谢李张姐。
你我之间何必分那么多？
耶，王叔孙叔新别墅，我也要。孙叔叔比爸爸好1000倍、10000倍。
The man couldn't watch any longer. This was why he chose to walk away. After returning to the villa, he began clearing out useless things. The kids' toys and family photos all went into boxes. His wife's voice suddenly came from behind. He turned and saw her holding the kids at the door. The son noticed his favorite toy was gone and glared angrily at his dad, saying they were just playing with Uncle David. Did he really have to get mad? The daughter yelled too, saying dad was just jealous of Uncle David. That's why he threw away their toys. He was a bad dad. The woman stopped the kids from arguing, then gave the man a cold glance, saying this better not happen again. But less than 2 minutes later, the kids came running to complain, saying there was no food in the dining room, and dad wanted to starve them on purpose. Hearing that, the woman glared at her husband, demanding an explanation. The man asked in return, did she even know he could get tired too?
你的咖啡必须85度，月月的三明治必须烤得金黄酥脆，玉玉的牛奶必须是温热的，外加15克糖。家里所有的衣服都得手洗熨干。我累了，为什么做？
Seeing their cowardly dad suddenly snap, the kids' faces filled with anger, shouting that he was too lazy. They wanted Uncle David to be their dad instead. The next day, David moved into the villa claiming he would help with the kids, and the first thing he did was order the maids to redecorate the living room. His purpose was crystal clear. He wanted to erase every trace of the man's existence, but the woman didn't even blink. She simply told the butler to do as David said. The man stayed silent, watching everything unfold, because in just half a month he would leave this place forever. During dinner, the 2 kids sweetly served rice to their Uncle David. Their mom had told them his hands were made for playing piano, and he should never do heavy work like serving food. The servants whispered among themselves, saying it was only a matter of time before the house got a new master. Though the man had already lost hope, he still couldn't pretend he heard nothing. He excused himself, saying he was full, and went back to his room. He didn't know how much time had passed when a servant suddenly rushed in, saying the young master and miss had been sent to the hospital for mango allergy. By the time the man arrived, the kids had already woken up.
怎么回事？今晚的饭到底是谁做的？
The 2 kids exchanged a glance, then pointed at their dad at the same time, saying dad made the food, and he put mango in the cake. He did it to drive Uncle David away, and forced them to eat the mango cake. The man stared in disbelief at the kids he had raised himself. He was about to explain what really happened, but the woman cut him off and ordered him to get out. Right after that, a bodyguard pinned him to the floor.
大总说了，少爷和小姐吃过的苦，今天也得让你自己尝尝。给我狠狠地打，废了他！
After who knows how long, the man finally woke up in a hospital bed, and the woman had learned that David was the one who bought the mango cake, but she brushed it off as if nothing happened. The man didn't argue or lose his temper, because after what had been through before, he finally understood that in love there's no double standard. There is only love or no love. Then the woman told him tomorrow was their son's birthday, and reminded him to be there on time. Before he could answer, she left, saying she had work at the company. She wouldn't stay even a second longer before someone she didn't love. The next day, the man went to his son's birthday party for the last time, watching the happy family of 4 together. He drained the wine in his glass and finally let go. This was the best ending for everyone, but just as he was about to leave, David ran after him. Right then, the elevator suddenly malfunctioned. David was so terrified he wet himself. He quickly grabbed his phone and called the woman. The man, still weak from his recent hospitalization, was already on the verge of fainting. Even though the medic said his injuries were more severe, the woman still chose to save David first. 2 days later, the man slowly regained consciousness. Facing his wife's pretended concern, he remained calm as water, because that day was the end of the cooling off period, and he was about to leave and start a new life. After the woman left to be with David, the man took off the ring that had bound him for 6 years.
过去6年，我习惯了委曲求全，随叫随到。只是从今往后，再也不会有一个叫顾城高的人等着下等双管家。